Hey YouTube, here we are on Project Tow Truck rust repair. Got the outside plate welded in. Just wanted to give you an update. You know, I'm going to piece a few videos together of this whole process right here. I'm going to try to edit in a still photo to show you the damage that was done to this area. If you look here, this area right here is still pretty, jacked up. It's missing metal altogether here. This frame was essentially split in half. The only thing really holding this frame together was the cross member that runs from frame rail to frame rail. That's what these all these why am I drawing blank? Those 6 welds, that's what those are there for. They're actually, I plasma cut holes in this plate because there's the rivets, and you'll see in the photo there. But there was rivets there that are attaching the cross member to the frame, and those are the only things that were keeping this frame from splitting in two. So basically what I did is welded those rivets to this outside plate, and then obviously whatever frame material was left over was also included into that weld. This weld goes all the way around the entire surface. What I did though before I did any welding on here is I put a jack underneath the frame right here, and the reason why I did that is because I was trying to relieve some of the tension in the frame, because like I said, the crack went from way up here and it either dropped down this way or came around this way, I forget. You'll see the photo though, and comes down through here. That's why you see so much plating back this way and not so much this way. Also the reason this area is rusted is because of the cross member. The cross member is essentially acting like a pocket to hold all the salt and water and mud and everything like that, and that's why it's corroding, because the transition between this thickness of the bottom rail here to here is dramatic. It actually starts changing right here dramatically. So this area is almost, I would say it's pretty damn close. I'd say within 90% of full thickness of the frame. There's obviously, this is central New York, they use salt on the road, so there's obviously going to be some corrosion on the entire frame, but nothing to be concerned about. This truck's in pretty bad shape as far as the rust is concerned. Honestly, short of a full restoration, we're going to be right back in this boat within, I would say, a couple of years. So it's up to the owner on what they want to do with this and how they want to deal with it, but I'm getting paid to repair these rusted areas, and that's what I'm doing. So next step here is to grind this bottom weld, not necessarily smooth but flat. Ouch, got a metal sliver. Anyways, this way, so when I put the bottom plate on here, it'll sit over the top of this welded area, and then I can do what the hell, I'm drawing blank on all the technical terms. Basically a 90-degree weld right there. Then I've got this weld attaching to the actual, the frame, and then I'll have the welding the two pieces together, which will penetrate into this weld, so that you will have an actual contact point to the frame here. That's why I did that, as well as the two plated pieces will be attached. There's also going to be a weld along this inside edge as well to stiffen that up. I'm trying to basically use as much as the old material from the frame as possible, and it'll help not necessarily double it up, because obviously there's some very paper thin areas of metal here, but where the areas where it's a little bit thicker, it'll definitely help to reinforce it and strengthen it. when this is all said and done, this is actually, it should be stronger than the factory, you know, than the frame was originally from the factory in this particular area. So yeah, I'll edit in the next segment here as soon as I'm done putting this bottom piece on. Okay, got the bottom plate welded on. Sorry about the lighting situation here. My halogen's burnt out. I need to go across the street to Ace Hardware and go get some bulbs for that. So this is sloppy as all hell. You know, I'm welding upside down, and I'm not very good at it. You know, no excuses other than the fact that I'm not very good at it. So it started to drip and stuff, and I was trying to do multi-passes over there, and it was real difficult, so I kind of grinded that down a little bit. It's definitely strong enough. It's fully penetrated. It's just I think I was applying a little bit too much heat, and it started to drip. So again, I'm not very good at welding upside down, so it is what it is. This is going to be plenty strong enough. Basically what I did is I put this plate on here. You know, it was obviously a flat piece, and then put a clamp right here, a C-clamp, one of these, and started cinching it down until it got to the shape that it needed to be. Once it got to that point, I put another clamp over here on this side, tack welded it, and then took this clamp out, put it over here in this corner because this corner was kind of sagging down, clamped that tight, ran that whole bead. There wasn't really anything right here for me to grab a hold of, so I couldn't really clamp right there because that's where that, you know, the frame's pretty much gone. So yeah, this front section here is done. Outside of painting it with chassis saver, this front section is definitely done. I'm going to go to the other side. I don't have to do nearly as much on the other side. There's just a small little kind of rotted out area like this, so I'm just going to cut me a piece of plate just to, you know, wire brush that area down, clean it down really good, and just put a plate over that one piece. That was not in the agreement. I'm just going to do it anyways. The reason I'm going to do that is because I got to go get me some new jack stands. I've got a set of them, you know, 4 of them, but they're not tall enough for this. I need to go get some from Harbor Freight that'll support this frame. Basically, I'm going to jack this thing up, put the jack stands underneath the frame, somewhere in this vicinity, maybe even underneath this bed mount. I'm not entirely sure just yet. Then I'm going to remove the leaf spring and the leaf spring front mount on both sides. Hopefully I don't have any issues getting those bolts out. It's just one bolt on each side. And then I'm going to cut off the leaf spring perch and do what I did here to that side of the, you know, to the frame back there. Clean that up clean it all up real good, and box it in, and then weld that perch back on there. There's going to be a little bit of a difference, you know, obviously, because I'm putting this plate on top of the frame. So there's, you know, this plate is 3/16 thick, so it'll move that perch out 3/16 of an inch. Normally that would be a bit of a concern for me, but in this particular situation it's not. And the reason why is the frame on this truck, pretty much right there where that perch is, from there back is kind of twisted. Whoever installed the tow truck mechanism, you know, where it grabs the front tires and lifts it up, they didn't do it right. You know, and I talked to the owner of the truck about this. Whoever installed that should have reinforced the frame substantially, and they didn't. And because of the load and everything that's being put on the stock frame here, it's twisted the frame in that back section there. So because it's twisted the frame, the bump stops are super close to the leaf springs. So if anything, me moving the leaf spring perch out 3/16 of an inch is going to actually help with that situation as far as clearance. Like I said, this thing needs a ton of work. It's up to the owner on whether he wants to go any further with this project from that point. So I've got it in our agreement that, you know, I'm not liable for any structural issues that weren't repaired, and, you know, I do not recommend that they tow with this truck until they address the entire frame properly. And he was okay with that, so I'm doing what was requested and fixing it, and that's about it. So yeah, I'm gonna stop this video here. So, you know, once I get that spring, the leaf spring perch cut down there, and I see really what's going on, I'll do a follow-up video to show you guys what that process is going to be and how ugly it is behind there. That spring perch is in two pieces. I'm going to have to separate it and clean it all up really good before I put it back on there. So I'll go through that process with you guys, and that's pretty much it. So subscribe, comment, like, you know, the typical routine. Head down to the description and check out Alvarez Metalworks. That's my Facebook page. Go like the page, please. Show a little support. Feel free to leave any comments or suggestions or anything like that down in the comment section, and I'll talk to you guys later, and thank you for watching.